what age did you first pick up a pen and start drawing?
Oh man, I would have to say the earliest memory I have is actually our family priest brought over a box of markers and pen and paper and all that stuff, paper and markers. And I was probably about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, so I started drawing with those. So maybe about 7 or 8. And I don't think the priest was too impressed with what I was doing with those pens and pencils and markers and drawing like villains and monsters. So, but yeah, as soon as I had all those materials, I just started to kind of go gangbusters with it, I guess.
So you were drawing monsters from basically as soon as you picked up a pen?
As soon as I picked up a pen, yeah. I mean, I've always been drawn to that kind of stuff. You know, obviously the Universal Monster stuff, but the earliest memory I have of you know, sort of anything horror or spooky is Vincent Price's Floating Head in Hilarious House of Frightenstein. And yeah, so I mean, as soon as I saw that and you know, all the classic monster stuff, I had to reproduce them somehow. You know, they were in my head.
So you've already touched on some of your influences. Is there more influences?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously every artist is influenced by other artists. You know, mine would probably have to be Joe Coleman as one. You know, Robert Crumb is another. I was always into like the comic, you know, the underground comic stuff. Deep Red is another one. Chas Ballin's Deep Red, which was a magazine back in the 80s. You know, he could draw, but he was also like such a huge voice in horror, and still is. And you know, yeah. So I mean, I could sit here all day and just name off artists that I'm into. So
you came on board Rue Morgue in 2001.
Yeah, I was hired full time. Yeah, but I was working with the magazine before that, probably as early as like 98, 99. Pretty early on in, I was, you know, redesigning column logos, column headers, little illustrations, spot illustrations, and then I think around issue 7 I redesigned the Rue Morgue masthead, and then, you know, so I just started to do anything I could to, you know, work with Rod, and I was moonlighting at my old job, which was at a packaging design firm. And so I basically just stayed at work after the bosses went home and pumped this stuff out and wanted to work with Rue Morgue at any capacity. And eventually, you know, Rod told me, like, you know, don't go anywhere, don't let anyone else hire you. We want to hire you eventually, and yeah, the rest is history.
So we're at your first art show here at the Gladstone tonight. I remember Halloween.
That's correct.
And that's a cool title. How did you decide to call your first art show I Remember Halloween?
Well, I'm a huge Misfits fan, so number one, you know, I sort of, their lyrics in the song Halloween. I remember Halloween is, you know, I'm really into punk rock, and so that connected with me, and also the fact that, you know, there's a lot of nostalgia when it comes to Halloween. You know, everyone sort of remembers the best pumpkin they carved, or, you know, their favorite costume they wore, or what they were doing on any given Halloween night, or even Devil's Night. So it just sort of had this, just had the right amount of nostalgia for the show, and also it kind of just lends well to, I guess, my artwork. So,
can you talk about that special printing process that you have for the prints that you're selling tonight?
Yeah, they're called G-Clay prints, and basically what it is, it's a high-end form of reproducing artwork. Most of my stuff is drawn by hand, then scanned into the computer and finished digitally. But I wanted to, you know, treat these pieces in the show a little more special, and they're basically it's like a high-end, basically color copier, not a copier, but like a color printer that uses archival inks and works on you know, really high-end art, acid-free archival paper as well. Basically, museum quality prints is what I wanted for the show, and so yeah, I went the extra step to try to, you know, like offer something a little finer than, you know, just, I guess, like a laser copy or whatnot. So, and there's some originals downstairs as well. There's some original Rue Morgue pencil drawings that were used for the covers. So.
And one last question is, so your first art show, how is your nerves holding up?
Actually, I feel a little bit like, you know, the turkey on Thanksgiving, but I feel good. I feel really good. I've got a lot of great help down there, and you know, everyone at Roomwork's been amazing. Dave Danilow's been awesome, and you know, my fiance Nicole, and we're just, you know, we're hoping to put on just a really fun night of art, punk, rock and roll,